Welcome to Print for Gaming. I'm going to show you my Elegoo Saturn resin printer that I use and just how I do things. We'll start with adding resin. I use Nova 3D Tough Washable Resin. It's water washable. I use water, hot water, and soap for my cleaning. Add some resin. It's got a little bit left in the vat. There's a max fill line here, but I like that there's a ridge up underneath. I usually like to stop there. I don't like to fill it up to max because then you start getting overflows. I also have mine printing at a very slow print speed. I only usually do about one print a day, so it doesn't. I don't need to do it in a couple hours, so it doesn't just sit there and bounce up and down and splash everywhere. So that's another reason for it. My resin here, I've shaken the bottle. I'm going to show you that I'll stop a little short of that max line. So. Stop right about there is where I usually stop. There's a ridge right there, so I just use that as my guideline, and I don't usually have to worry about anything spilling over. So that was filling it up. I'm gonna get it started. Button back here. I do have an exhaust off the back. It's tied to an inline fan, and it just goes up into the attic. I'm using my old dryer vent to run it to the side of the house. I got a new one I ran out the side of the house for my dryer vent, so that's where this is going. So that's started, it's on. So, I got files set up on here, so we're gonna go to print. My Titan that I'm gonna be printing soon. It's 12 print beds to get it all done. I got 2 more prints I want to start before doing that, at least. No, I don't want that one. Let's keep going. Keep going. It's at the top. Oh, let's see. There we go. Alien hives or havoc. Start with the lowest one. I'll start, which is a havoc one. So then I'm gonna hit print. And it's gonna come down. And you'll see that it top here. Use gloves, use your face mask, boys. I will admit I do not use my face mask. I should. I'm old. I'm just gonna die someday. I don't care. And if you can notice, stopping short of that line, if I had gone up to the max, it would have been all the way up to the brim. It's gonna sit there. It is doing the first layer. And then it's gonna lift up. I have it lifting slowly. It's off, and now it's going back down. And it'll continue that until the print is done. So, I'm going to put the lid back on now, let it go. I just use regular alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol to, this is the bottle, but this is, I got water in this one. But isopropyl alcohol I use for cleaning. When I'm cleaning up anything with the printer or anything that might have the resin on it. But I'll show you later when I do my wash and cure station. I just fill it up with hot water and dish soap to wash the prints. And yeah, when this one's done, I will show you. The printer will say on the bottom, it says it's going to run for 4 hours and 45 minutes to get this print done. As I said, some people could cut that down in half if they want to go faster. I don't care. I got a printed drain station. These are just paint filters. I try to reuse them as much as possible before and then I'll clean it up and use another one. That's just a catch extra. It's just an old bucket. I usually keep an empty bottle to fill up. Like this one I got marked bad. It's got some. So when I drain the bad resin, I have someplace to put it. I got, like when you empty, you know, that's almost solid. I'll finish filling that eventually. I got extra. I always keep extras around, but I'll show you the process of taking everything off tomorrow when everything's done. So, okay. I filled up a jug of hot water. I usually rinse it off in my bucket down here, and then I filled up my wash and cure station with hot water and dish soap. After I'm done with that, I'll pour it in there with that one, and then I'll pour it into the other containers using a funnel to drain it, to cure it later out in the sun. Just sit them outside, and I'll show you how I do this. I have a little bucket tray there that I use to get the prints off, and then I'll show you after that. So let's just show you this. Gotta get my gloves on. Should be wearing a mask, but I'm not going to. Got one sitting there, but I'm not messing with it. I try to reuse my gloves as much as possible. But so I'll take the lid off. Go ahead and screw the cap off of that. Grab my bucket. I usually just hang it up here so it doesn't drip. And there's my print. I don't know if you can see that on camera because I'm on the other side. But some fighters and squadrons and a couple light ships. Put the lid back on that so crap will get in it. And then I just use the hot water. This will help me get the print off without having to fight too much to get it off. It really doesn't take that much, it just makes it a whole lot easier. And as I do it, I'm rinsing the plate, because I'll clean the plate every time. Pre-clean the models too as I'm doing it. It's a good way while I'm doing this, if I got something hollowed out and there's resin trapped inside the model, as I'm doing this, the resin will come out. So I just roll it back and forth until it's done. You don't have to do this, it's just the way I do it. I'm not a professional at this, I will tell you that. I leak a little bit of water on the floor. I usually do. just a couple drops easily. And then I shake it off. And then come over here. Hopefully you can still see this on camera. Take it and just pop my prints off. It's come off real easy. Sometimes a little too easy, but no pressure, just let it up underneath. And then I'll lift it up and I'll drop them in. Start. Oh wait, I'm putting it back on. Try not to touch anything. And I might use only a couple of fingers, so I'll try to use. Let that. I usually wash it for about 10 minutes. And while I'm doing that, come down here, grab my paper towel. I got usually one dirtier one. I usually take the scraper. Make sure there's no sharp edges on the build plate. Don't poke your screen. Helps get some of the excess off too. Use my dirtier rag. I usually use these 2 or 3 times before I start switching them out. And I'll rotate that one into my dirty rag. I just wipe them off. Any excess resin. And then I use this one to just dry it. And this will be ready to go back on the printer to start another print. This hand just had water on it. So, make sure there's fuzzies or anything or hair. Got a German Cheddar, so she her hairs are everywhere. But then I just put this one back on, start another one. Still plenty of resin in the vat for me to do what I'm doing. So turn it back on. Next one. Way down at the bottom, I think. My bald head's blinding you, I hope not. Just did that one. So that one next. While I'm waiting for that, I usually play with the dog. I get some more paper towels. So I'll probably do that while I'm at it. And I'll come back in a little bit to show you the remainder of what I do. Now, that bucket there, every now and then I'll switch out the paper towels, and when I do, I'll use my alcohol and clean it all out. I do these other 2 buckets, but I'll show you that when I get to those processes. So I'm gonna pause the video and I'll be back when that's done. Like I said, right now I close this up because it's out of my way. Alrighty, back in a moment. Alright. Wash station is done. Being I'm using hot water, it's got a lot of condensation in it, so I usually take a paper towel and wipe out the condensation first. This is the support I used earlier. Turn the light on. I don't know if that's going to help, but turn the light on. Just showing how the tough resin works. It bends pretty good without breaking. You can break it if you go back and forth enough, but when you're taking the supports off, especially in the hot water, they peel right off real easy. But if your piece on your model is really thin like the support, be careful, you can take and peel the part of the model off. It's the only issue with using the hot water. But, so I'll lift that up, the cage out, and grab a piece. Usually I'll take it over here to my bucket, but I'm going to do it over this bucket here so I can show you how easy this peels off. So, and this just peels right off with the hot water. So, and I'll just do the rest real quick. Sit down for this. Now, these fighter squadrons are a little thin, so they're kind of warped when they come out of the hot water. But as they dry, they'll get their shape back and be flat again. So that's not an issue. So I'll just set them flat in there. Supports in this bucket. I put them all. These are cheap. They were like, I think they were either Dollar Store or Walmart. I think they were pretty cheap, only like $1 or $2 a piece. And this is like one of those file storage cages deals. It works pretty good because it allows it to drain in the bottom. And like I said, same thing with that other bucket. I can pull the paper towels out every now and then. Which looks like they're about due to be pulled out and cleaned, and I'll clean this up with alcohol too. There we go. That's pretty much it. Just keep pulling these out, getting them undone. And I clean my desk off every now. When I go to clean all this stuff off, I spray that down and clean that off too. That's the only thing I use it for is this anyway. This, I think, got it at Goodwill for a few bucks. They had it in my closet. It wasn't my print station. I used to have my printer and my wash station on this one. It was in my bedroom walk-in closet because that's the only place I had to put it until I built the game room. And I had to shave the edges off to get it through the door. But for a few $1 piece of furniture, I didn't care if I cut some of it off. Yeah, that one's got pretty good warp in it, but it'll, like I said, it'll flatten out as it dries, so I don't have no worries. I've done this with some other ones and they turned out just fine. So the hot water will bend up stuff pretty good. Pretty much peel right off. I'll just stick it to the side there. A few more left. 3 more. Alright, I'm gonna take that. I usually set that off into there. The next time. nubs, I mean, you just rub your finger across them and they come right off. So more about the nubs sticking to the print itself after you've knocked it loose. And then I usually dip my hands in the soap water. I'm trying to get some of that excess off. I don't know if that's, I should be probably using alcohol to clean myself, but and then I just, I don't know if you guys will see this, but put this camera down. Bucket. And I'll just drag that in with the other one. It's in there. And then I just wipe out the dry it. Not a whole lot usually left in here, only if it's hollow and if it has any, if I didn't do a very good job getting resin out of the hollow print. Does this ever get really dirty between the washing it initially and then putting it in here? There's almost no resin left in on it anyway, so that'll go in the trash. And that, like I said, I'll use milk jugs or juice jugs, and I'll use a funnel and just pour it in and then just set them outside. Let them harden. But that's my, I'll show you when those are dry here in a little bit. I'll put them on the cure station and cure them real quick. But that's pretty much my process with this. Alrighty. Got a dog that wants to play. Stick that on. Got my plate. Really needs to be actually be cleaned. Oh, let's see. Switch it to cure. Switch it to slow. I usually only do about 2 minutes when I cure. I'm sure this is still on camera pretty good. Yeah. Alright. Hold on. Move them over to it until they're cured. All the fibers around it. As you can tell, they kind of flattened out. Up for 2 minutes, and after I'm done, I'll cure the supports. If it's noisy, I got a print going on over there, so and then cure the bottom. A little damage from the didn't print very well there, and I printed them on its side. I got a support there. I really should have printed them straight up. Being lazy when I was doing it, so. But it's small. Get some paint on it. You don't want to see too much of it. These to their sides so I can get the underneath the base. I'll do this for a little bit. Maybe a minute. Good enough. And they're done. Pretty flat. Might have a little bit of a bow, a little bit, but not enough to notice it. So that's the start of my Havoc fleet. Do alien hives next. then I'll probably stop on my fleets because that'll give me about 8 of them to start with. I don't have an army. I don't have the files for the army I want to do for the Dow. But there are some models that I want to use for the Dow's fleets, but I don't have those either. So, all right, that's my process for that. Take some alcohol to that, get it cleaned up a little bit. You need a little glass cleaner afterwards. But that's my process for this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, like, subscribe. Yeah, have a good one.